Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with Audrey Helps Actors, and you are listening to episode number 12, which comes with great news. We got information yesterday that we broke the iTunes Top 100 for Performing Arts Podcasts. Yay! That's really thanks to all of you and your sharing and your spreading and your reviews. I'm just so happy to have done that. I do this for you guys so that we can all have camaraderie, love, compassion, understanding, and knowledge in this business. Shout out to Matthew 13, Sal Brecker, Real Advice, No Catch, Tiger Lily, Mark Pro, Alexandra Bayless, Christopher R. Tucci, for all of your reviews on Instagram. They were so nice and lovely. I'm so glad that everyone is getting so much out of it, and I love the fact that you guys are sharing them with your classes, with people you've went to class with all of your friends. I just think it's so fantastic. Extra special shout out to Kim Griffin, to Soy Bianca on her Instagram story, and Megan McLeod for sharing on social media this podcast. You guys spoil me. You're so lovely. So today we're going to talk about styling and branding. Buckley is an actress. She is a stylist. She helps with branding. She's been so helpful. She works with so many actors, both in the headshots with their closets, getting audition outfits together. Really, I can't stress enough to you how important this is. And I had no idea how bad so many actors were at this very simple concept. And it's actually not simple. It takes a lot of information, a lot of education. And what I really like about Buckley's point of view is that she is a working actress and has been one for such a long time. So she's not somebody who just went to fashion school and is going to tell you how to look good. She's somebody who can know what the markets are, know how you fit in those markets, and then whether or not your look and your wardrobe and your haircut and all that is helping you sell what you're supposed to sell in that market. We've talked so much about the business side of show business, and if you'll remember from Falk's episode, we just talked about getting all of that in alignment, that when you know what your casting is, and then your look matches your casting, and then your materials match your casting, and then your reel matches your casting, then the ride and the shoot up, in my experience, goes much faster and much smoother, and you start going out for roles that you can actually book instead of going out for roles that you maybe do a great job with, but you're never going to get in your life. Buckley is also very involved in the union, so we're going to ask her for a little bit of union information, so look out for that. And otherwise, enjoy the show. I hope you are on your way to an audition. Audrey helps actors because they don't know anything. So hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore from Audrey Helps Actors, and today we have
Buckley Sampson.
And we are going to talk today about...
We're going to talk about styling. We're going to talk about image.
Branding,
niches, all that kind of stuff.
Buckley is so talented in this area. I know that she knows it, but I'm just going to toot her little horn. Of all, she is so stylish, and I've always loved her style. But she's been doing this for several years,
10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much really word of mouth, because
really?
as an actor, I didn't want it to overwhelm me.
And Buckley, for the record, is a fantastic actress with years of experience, and I am always looking forward to the ever unfolding of your career.
Thank you.
Of course. Part of what you're really good at is looking at an actor and sort of saying, this is your vibe, this is your market, here's how we can help you refine that. So do you want to talk about how you got into it?
Yeah, I worked in casting too. So I did have that background. I assisted, then a commercial associated, and I also did a TV show also as an associate. So I kind of saw that. And then I had my own casting company for 2 years. Called B Casting, and we did the beginning of the internet craze. I worked with Yahoo and different companies, so that was really interesting to just get like content out.
Yes.
And then that became, again, took over a little too much for me, and I went, this is great, and I'm really excited to have this, because now I, as a person in front of the camera, I have even more of an understanding.
More data.
But then, because I was working behind the camera, I'm like, wow, so actors are missing it.
Actors, well, this is what I'm saying. Audrey helps actors because I just can see, and listen, I come from where you all are. I have been there. I have had, even though I always thought of myself as a stylish person, just know like I call it like American Idol roles, right? There's like you before American Idol and you thought that you really knew what you were doing. And then there's like the finals of American Idol when you have a team styling you. And I always loved when that show was on, the transition. And you would just think like, oh yeah, she thought she was so cute in the outfit in Kentucky. But when she hit the stage and she's got a team on her, then she really doesn't just look great, but looks like her most self.
Right.
Which is part of what we're trying to do with getting casting together.
Yeah. And I think it's really a question of wherever you are in your career. Look, when you're 22, you might be a high school student or the dot. Like, it's not going to be a huge category. Not at all. And then when you get older, are you more character? Are you more leading looking, you know? But if you're leading looking, you better be playing that and getting that footage. And that's a whole nother ball of wax too.
And owning that casting. I want to talk about how every single thing that an actor does with regards to their skin, with regards to their makeup, with regards to their teeth, with regards to their hair, their haircut, their hair dye, their nails, the fabric, where they shop, that all of that tells a story.
If you're a woman and you're doing just color box, L'Oreal, whatever, don't do that.
That's funny because that's what I do. But I'm going to tell you why.
Because you do one process.
Yes, not only that, but because I think it's more my casting. Like if I do, like I was just telling somebody yesterday, I have like $150 haircut and I love the dye jobs that she does and they do incredible work. And then she always asks me, do you want to get one? I'm like, I can't. She says, why? And I said, because if I walk out of here with a $400 dye job, that's going to inform my casting. And my casting is just not the girl who has a $400 dye job.
Right. But you would also just be a one process. You're not going to be two process. You're not going to have highlights. That's not your girl. Yeah, it's just one color. Right.
That's right.
And you're doing a great job. I have seen.
Oh, no, I have too.
That's why I say it. So even if it is, I just need a one process and you are playing Midwest girl. Then do that. If you are...
Yeah, I tell people even like, and I know it's hard because we all want to look fabulous, especially when you're in LA. But I tell some girls, I need you to get your Midwest haircut on. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like, I had a stylist who called them like ear cuffs. It's like your hair is an extension of your ear. It just like makes this giant cup, this C cup over your ear. And that's like the Midwest haircut. And I see a lot of women who work a lot theatrically, commercially, and they just commit to that haircut and they book all the time because it fulfills that role.
That's, I think, one thing that actors don't want to embrace.
It's hard.
It is hard because look, in any other profession, you have some maybe guidelines, but if you want to have really long hair, you can have really long hair. If a guy wants to grow it out and be shaggy, so be it.
Yeah.
But if he's playing leading man, no, that's not going to happen. He needs to have that kind of haircut.
That's right.
You're selling what I'm looking at. The person who really matches that description or that look, that's who's going to have more of an option to get the job.
And it's really about branding. It's really about people knowing what to do with you. That's why I thought, Brittany's understanding of her casting as this gentle giant was so great for her. And I'm not surprised, having worked behind the camera for so long, that then she could recognize that for herself. That she doesn't have like the mean girl face and she doesn't really even have a mean girl voice, but that she is big. She's got stature to her. And so she has to then know how she's going to play that opposite her very friendly self. And then what she does with her hair and what she does with her clothes are going to also inform that. And so that's what we're looking at with style, is like further informing what you already have going for you to make it more specific.
Yeah.
Like Falk shaving his head. He needed to look intimidating. So he shaved his head and knew that it looked intimidating. And know when you're trying stuff out, sometimes you guys, it's not going to work the first time. Like you may dye your hair and then go like, interesting, not going to work for the long term.
Yeah. Right? I went darker brown for a film role I did. And I thought, oh, I feel really sexy. I have hair extensions and I have this brown hair.
Yes.
And yeah, it was like no one could, they're like, what happened to Buckley? Like,
well, also part of what's so great is, you have freckles, right? Like, and that just says something. I have freckles, and I tell people, when I get headshots, they're always trying to like take out my freckles. And I'm like, listen, you leave those fucking freckles in because those are gold. They just help tell the story about me. And I have a very Midwest look. I mean, I tell people I have a Midwest look. I go Quaker so fast. I go Pilgrim so quick. Any of that sort of stuff. It's part of my look. And I just embrace it. That's all that you can do.
And I think there's something really important about, look, you're an actor, you choose to be an actor, you're gonna be an actor your whole life, or you'll do it for a little bit or whatever
it is.
Know whatever age you are, just play that, like get specific, you know,
really be honest with yourself with how you look too. I mean, because it goes both ways. Like, I have friends that have always looked 5 to 10 years younger than they are. And then I have friends who've always looked 5 to 10 years older than they are. And those can be tricky. And it's really not just important how you look in person, because there is the thing of, like, you walk into the casting room and a lot of times it's you say one thing, but then they see you on film and you say another thing. And so you really have to start seeing yourself on film. If you're a person who's done theater and done scene study classes and you've done improv and you don't spend any time looking at your face on film, that is a huge disadvantage. And you're going to be leaving people with a lot of, I'm going to say, discrepancy. You're going to be leaving people with a lot of discrepancy between what you think you are versus what you maybe actually saw. And I have countless examples of friends who thought that they were lawyers and then realized they were really grocery store girls, who thought that they were quirky and really they were sexy, who thought that they were moms and really they were upscale.
I mean, I've heard this from many different teachers. You'd say, turn around and go, what do you see me as? Now, you maybe you don't want to ask your best friend because they're going to say whatever they want you to hear. But just start getting like different perspectives, or that is something to like start compiling and then going, wow, yeah, I am getting the mid-level grocery store clerk. So maybe I need to wear less makeup and go to Old Navy or Target and just get some basic clothes. And
part of why you can't listen to your friends is because they've got their own casting. For me, for example, for commercials, I almost never wear makeup. I wear like the bare minimum amount of makeup. And that's because I'm usually going in a room against more character-y actresses. And if I put on makeup, I can look a little more glamorous. I also can sometimes get like a little more edgy in a weird way, which is also not what I do. And in the quirky world, there are women who are really character and quirky, and they put a lot of makeup on because they're trying to calm how quirky and charactery they are, and we sort of meet in the middle. But if I tell everyone don't wear makeup to auditions, then it may not be true for your casting. Some people, they need to wear a lot of makeup, and this is not just for women too, for men also. Men, if you have a haircut that's a $35 haircut, that's saying something about you. If you have teeth that are really yellow, that's saying something about you. I mean, we've had lots of discussions about skin in this podcast. I talked to a girl yesterday, like, what does your skin look like? Are you really weathered? Do you smoke? Can people tell that you smoke? Because that's going to inform your
because
casting.
you're going to probably be playing older than you really are. And that's going to be something to transition in and go, oh, I have to have these clothes and I have to, almost like thinking these thoughts because this isn't where I feel like I am in everyday life.
That's right. And I understand that. I mean, I always want to be more sophisticated, vintage. I love these sorts of like elegant, interesting, sophisticated looks. And then on camera, and I think I'll get there. And if in like probably like 5 years, I imagine like my face might start to change in that way. But right now, I'm just quirky. Like, I don't know what to say. And so I've had to develop a wardrobe.
And that's important. Like, at least you know that, you know, and then you can also, because when you find your image, your branding, the niche, I mean, people call it a million different things, right? But if you can just go, all right, I'm going to take this by the horns and just go, then clothes will start happening. You'll start seeing different things. And then I have no problem. Have your real life on the side.
She came over to my house once, you guys, and was like, I remember that you love neon. And I was like, I do. And she's like, okay, we're going to calm down the neon. And I was like, but I just want to be bright.
Oh
and
my
she's
gosh,
like,
it was so neon.
I understand. But she's like, let's bring it down a notch.
Yes. Wear it in your real life.
Oh, we did. We have my neon.
I know, that's so funny. I know that you'd send me emails or like little things going, I'm wearing neon
today.
Oh
I'm like, here I am in my bright neon. Yeah.
My job also, like, just as in what I do, I want people at the end of my session with them to be like, have me in their head and go, what would Buckley say? Or would Buckley approve of this?
Yes,
You know?
I do that. I do think like, whenever I know I'm going to see, I'm like, oh, Buckley's going to be there. What am I going to do?
And I do it all with love.
She
honestly.
does. Listen,
Look, I want
I'm the
everyone
same
to
way.
succeed, you know, and I want... Look, I can't tell if you're a good actor. That's your job. You've got to do that work.
Right.
But I can get you specific.
Really, I want to speak to the people, which is most of us in LA, who are trying to look really attractive. It is so easy, in New York too, to want to look like your best self. And I super get that. And so then what ends up happening is then the girls start getting the eyelash extensions and everybody starts working out and getting this yoga teacher. And then they start getting their teeth bleached and all of that. It just all tells a story. And I just want everyone to be really aware of it. I don't get eyelash extensions. I want eyelash extensions like you guys. I want Latisse. I want my eyelashes to like be up to my eyebrows. But my look is vintage and they didn't do that in the vintage world. And my look is also pilgrim and Amish, and also just a middle American and quirky. And that's just not what eyelashes do. So when I go out, I wear eyelash
That's great.
strips, and I love to do that.
And again, in your real life, you can be
life,
as glamorous and
fabulous
listen, as possible.
I would love to like not have to do that work and just have the eyelash extensions, but that's just not an option that I get, and that's okay. And if you are a person who is like getting your teeth bleached, but then your skin is a certain way, and then you're wearing like frumpy clothes, you're telling the wrong story. And also I say to people, you don't have to get the fabulous haircut. There are some people whose casting is person who has a $20 haircut.
Absolutely.
And if that's your casting, I want you to stay with the $20 haircut.
Yes.
Do not be fooled. And I know it's tempting to want to be the person who has this super fabulous haircut. But to some of you, I say, find your branding, and your branding may be girl with a $20 haircut and a box dye job and a Target t-shirt.
Yes. And I think actors also get confused about being an actor and they see people on a red carpet.
Let's talk about that.
And I mean, perfect example is Melissa Leo. Right?
Yes.
Great actress, gritty, you know, like no makeup.
Yes.
Definitely the $20 thing you just said. That's what got in my head.
Yes.
But on the red carpet, she can get that $600 due.
Yes.
She can look like $1 million because she's now her. Like, she's not, you know, I mean, she's still an actor, but it's your best self.
That's
when
right.
Because you're in that.
You're doing that carpet thing.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And she isn't somebody in particular, is somebody who already had created a brand for herself as gritty. And even when she's dressed up, she still looks like Melissa Leo, because I do think some people go to the carpet and I'm like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you did. That's what I thought was so smart about the girl from Dragon Tattoo, the American one.
Yes.
Because she looks a lot like her sister, sort of nondescript, but for the carpet, she kept the haircut.
Yeah,
she
and
kept
went
her hair
all
black,
black.
and she had a cool black outfits because she was just trying to say,
edgy.
Here I am, this is me, just so that she could start to get us to know who she is as a brand. And then from there, she got all these other roles and she could transform, which she does very well.
Yeah, and I think that's just so important. I mean, as actors, we can do everything, but my job, and I think it's really smart with just everything that you've been saying in this podcast, just get specific, pigeonhole yourself.
And then expand.
Yes. But and then you can also expand doing your own web series, or you can do your own content that way.
Sorry to interrupt, but I do want to say, because I know that there are like artists that are listening, and I want to talk to you guys. Okay. Those of you who hear pigeonhole and you're like, fuck those girls, they don't know what they're talking about. Listen, if you don't want to play that game, don't play that game. That's fine. I just am talking to you about making sure it's a choice. That if you want to be the person who I can do anything and wants to sort of go that route and really wants to rebel against the pigeonholing and all that sort of stuff, I just want to say to you, go for it. That's your choice. I just want to encourage that to be a choice for you and not a default, because one of the best things I heard about styling from Stacey and Clinton.
I love
Stacey and Clinton.
Oh my God.
They used to say that it's not just the choices you make, it's also the choices you don't make that inform people about you. So if you are not making choices about the clothing that you're wearing, that is your choice. And that's what people see. So even if you're going to say, I don't care about the way I look, then that is what you're saying is, I don't care about the way you look. So let's have that be, I don't care about the way I look, so that's my choice, versus I just kind of think it's a lot of work and I don't know what to do and I don't care about my look. And then I wonder why people aren't booking me.
I totally agree with all of that.
Great.
And I think it's also like, I find that a lot of my clients who have come from the theater world, which I did too. Yeah, I think I can play everything. But when I moved to LA, it took me like a good 2 years to go, oh, I'm playing, I was in my 20s, very the edgy, the commercials. I was doing more like the hip, trendy things. And then all of a sudden, I became a mom. And I'm like, wait, I'm not even a mom.
I've been doing mom since 24.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I had a 6-year-old when I was 24. I'm like, really? So yeah, that kind of stuff. And then just going, okay, well, I'm making this money, so I got this.
Let's
right. Go. This is how my career is going. But wait, Audrey, wait. I have to interrupt you.
Help me. I need some help.
And now it's time for listener questions.
I'm so scared.
I want to thank everyone for sending your listener questions to the email. It's so much easier for me to keep track of them if you just all send them to one place. So again, if you have any questions regarding any help from Audrey, please email them to audreyhelpsactors@gmail.com. Again, audreyhelpsactors@gmail.com. Today's listener question comes from a friend of mine. She says, hello, Audrey. I wanted to paint my walls a Kelly green, but since we have to do self-tape, should I paint them blue instead? I mean, do they always have to have a blue background? My manager suggests periwinkle is the best color, but I don't want my walls that color. Would it look cheap if I just got blue fabric taped to the wall whenever I do self-tapes? Thanks. So I talked to Jesse. Jesse's a director. He's the one who watches your self-tapes. And he said, just know that it gets to maybe be a little bit distracting if your wall is like a really fabulous color and they're spending the time being like, oh my God, that bright green wall is just so attractive. What I have noticed with self-tapes is actually what works best is actually if you can sort of put it in something that suggests the environment. Self-tapes have really been booked in all situations though, you guys. Just know like people book them all the time from crappy hotel lighting because they're on location shooting somewhere and they have to put in a self-tape. I've booked them before with plenty of stuff in the background, but the stuff that was in the background was something that hinted towards the scene, like an office or a living room, something like that. And I also have done them with, my regular pale blue background. At the end of the day, if you're right for the part, you're right for the part. Just make sure to whatever degree you can that it's not super distracting. As far as the sheet is concerned, I recommend instead of using a sheet, because that sometimes can just kind of look sad, maybe they have like backdrop paper that you can get. A lot of people, if you go on Craigslist, they're like selling reams of them, and you can maybe use that. Do you have another suggestion?
Don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. Be better than the green.
Yeah, I mean, really be better than the green wall. If you're not better than your fabulous green wall, they're just going to notice your green wall. So, be right for the part and do good work. That's how you book on self-tapes. Ta-da! Go book it. Book those self-tapes. Good luck. Maybe they'll watch them. Who knows? Oh, I do want to say one other thing about self-tapes that's helpful. This was something that was suggested to me by the great Samantha Soul out on Netflix's Godless, soon to be out in November. But she would, sometimes you can't find somebody to do it with you. And then if you're on set and all that sort of stuff. So what she would do is she would shoot the audition on her iPhone. And then if you have a newer-ish version of Mac within the last 4 years, you can actually FaceTime on your computer. So you just set it up so that you're FaceTiming with somebody on your computer and then you are recording on your iPhone. And that's a nice way to not have somebody like drive all the way to come to you or you drive all the way to come to them. Especially sometimes they're like very short and you don't want to do like the whole thing. If you live in LA or New York, it can be quite the trek. So there's a little tidbit of advice. Good luck.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
I want to ask you, what is the biggest mistake you see men make and that you see women make?
The biggest mistake I see men make is cutting their hair right now too specific. Like that 40s cut, it's
Yes.
And I think with men, they have to keep their hair a little bit longer because unlike when you're on set, they can always cut your hair. I've seen so many men just in even commercials, the hairstyle, like the hairstylist is cutting their hair.
That's really great information, you guys, just so you know that that's an option.
Yeah. I just think having a little bit longer hair for men is a good thing because then they can do more with it. Men don't have as much, like they're not putting makeup on. They're not changing anything. They've got their hair and then they have facial hair.
Yes.
That's it. Like get a shot with a mustache if that's your type. Get scruffy. Every single guy should have a scruffy headshot.
And just so men know, I have sent men to makeup artists and groomers so that that person will show them how to style their hair a few ways, because I know that a lot of men are completely fucking clueless when it comes to that.
I would also say women are too.
Oh, women certainly are, but I definitely know that men are. And so men and women, just know a thing that I super encourage people to do is find somebody that's good. There's some people up on my Audrey Helps Actors website. Go and hire somebody for what's called a lesson. And what they do is they will show you how to do your hair, and they will have you do it once also so that they can help you along the way.
That's great.
And I've had so many friends who've done that and really thanked me.
And YouTube too.
YouTube
Go on,
is great.
Every style
Absolutely.
person, makeup guru, hair person,
all of that stuff.
you can watch a video twice and you
That's
can
right.
become an expert.
And what's so great about, I can say, the Los Angeles market and the New York market is there are stylists, there are hair people and makeup people who that's what they do, is they help you create an image for yourself. And that is something that I super recommend doing. So what is the biggest mistake women make?
Trying to be prettier than
They are. That's
and,
my
and,
experience.
And, if I'm looking through headshots or old headshots, I'm like, you're not going to compete with that, And I've made that mistake too. I was like, I had that long dark hair. I got I got new headshots. I'm like, I am totally embraced. I'm going to go leading lady.
Yes.
This is my time. Did not work at all.
Doesn't work.
And I just say definitely get a glamour shot of you, as every actress should, But that goes to your significant other or your parents.
Character is in.
Yeah. Character is very much in. Yes.
I want to talk about styling, headshots. You do that.
Yes.
This is so important.
So important.
You guys. Oh, it's so important. And it also really goes to your casting. And I say to that about the headshot photographer that you pick, because just like everybody, headshot photographers have brands and
Absolutely.
they have different things that they do. And so if you are really quirky and like charactery, and then you try to look model-y, you're going to be a disappointment every time you come in the room.
I definitely think that you've got to know with photographers what they're selling, because they are selling something.
They are.
And then you need to be on brand with that. You need to have the right clothes for that. If you're selling comedy, go to the comedy photographers, and they're out there, very specific. You just start looking at their websites and brighter colors, more patterns in clothes. One thing that I've heard, so many actors, maybe it's just this wise tale that people are like, oh, I was told never to wear a pattern in a headshot.
I was just recently told that somebody was
I think it
told
must
that
be
also.
college teachers. I don't know, but it's literally, I've
it's
heard
from
it
the
for
90s
years.
is what I think it is. Yeah, it's like, because so many of the teachers are like from the 90s. And I do think in the 90s it was like, you black turtleneck. Like that's my favorite.
Black is theatrical.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
a
light color for commercial.
That's what they tell them, like
or
a
jean shirt.
They tell them pastel colors for your commercial. Like, I can tell you guys, I fucking do pattern like a motherfucker on my headshots, and I can tell you it really works.
Yeah, I mean, because guys, it's different. No one really has 8x10s anymore. You can definitely make them. I feel like everyone should have about 50 of them.
Yeah.
But big mistake for men is that they wear just a simple t-shirt. It's like the 20-something guys wearing a simple, and
their
that's
green
also
t-shirt. They
just
all have that
just
same green t-shirt,
or maybe it's a V-neck or
Yeah.
a crew neck, but it's like the 20-something. It's just funny because I think they're also going, oh, but casting can put my character or whatever they're looking on this. No, they're going to pass you up because they're looking through 3,000 people. If you are the leading guy, let's see that. If you are the character guy, let's see that. If you play mid-level office worker, I want to see that.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how you're going to separate yourself. But a big problem with men is this simple t-shirt. And then, and women,
Yes.
big problem. Do not wear spaghetti strap tank tops in a headshot. You look naked.
Yes.
I call them naked women.
I'm just going to post all of my old pictures for you guys to see. And I only come to you as somebody who has made all of the mistakes. I mean, that's why I do this podcast, is because I didn't arrive and figure shit out.
None of us have.
No,
That's
I spent
the brilliance.
10 years lost in the abyss of just sadness and confusion. Oh, so here's another big thing.
Mm-hmm.
What it says in person and what it says on camera are often different things.
Yeah, I say this to a lot of clients. I say, what I'm going to put you in a headshot might not be something you wear to an audition.
Yes.
And what I like in your clothes, that this is great for an audition, it's not going to be enough impact
to tell the
for a
story.
headshot. Yes.
Yeah, because what you're trying to do is tell the story of the product that you're trying to say you are. So if you're trying to tell the story of the product of Quirky Girl and you're wearing a yellow t-shirt, that doesn't do anything for the casting director to know how quirky you are.
Right.
Even if you have a super quirky haircut and you have a super quirky face, but if you have a shirt that's got a weird collar and then cherries on it, and then you have your quirky haircut and your quirky face, that just bumps it up a little bit to tell the story. And what I tell people to do is to, when you're going, okay, first of all, I want you all to go shopping for headshot clothes, and I want you to spend $1,000 on a credit card and then just have the intention you'll return it all. Return what you don't use, because you want to have all the options.
Okay.
If you wear it in your headshot, you got to keep it.
You should keep, absolutely. And then if you start getting auditions with that red checkered shirt all the time, I want you to have 4
Several
to 5
of them.
pieces
Yep.
of different clothes that
do that thing.
reflect. Yes.
That is so right on. And it can be exhausting, you guys. I have spent 36 hours of nonstop shopping, looking for the right things for my headshots. But then I got hella called in and it was worth it. And that's when I started to really understand the game that we are playing here. Is it's not just what's your favorite shirt that you feel comfortable and confident in, which is what most actors do.
Absolutely.
But what is the shirt that tells the story of the product you want to tell?
What are you selling?
What are you selling? So for moms, when I started getting my young mom shots, I had the hardest time in LA finding mom shirts because they don't exist here. And I was like, where the fuck do I find a mom shirt? So then I straight up went, because I'm from Middle America, so I know where they shop. I got the Coldwater Creek catalog.
Love it.
And I ordered 4 shirts. 2 of them didn't work. 2 of them did. I wore one of them in my headshots. And I tell you, that headshot got me called in all day, every day. And every time I wore that shirt for a mom, I always got called back.
And wear the shirt in an audition.
That's what I did.
From if you're getting called in with this red checkered shirt, keep wearing it.
Yep. It works.
People are like, oh, shouldn't I have some? Yeah, you should have other things, but
right. Well, but
go
see,
for
once I knew that shirt worked, exactly what you said, I went and got 3 or 4 others that were varying versions of that. Maybe one that's a little more nicer and one that's a little more casual, or one in a different color. But all of those got called in from all those, because I could sort of see what was working. And just so you guys know, this is a process.
Right. And record that.
Yes.
You wear something to an audition. You don't get a call back. Okay.
Maybe that didn't work.
Yeah. But maybe I'll throw a cardigan over it next time. Okay. Or
yes,
that doesn't work 3 times in a row. I'm going to retire that shirt and find something else.
That is so true. And no, with auditions, theatrically, commercially, they're cutting you off chest up usually. If it's a little wider, then it's waist up. And I know that that's hard. I'm a person who really likes to have style on the whole of my body. They're not seeing the rest of you. They're not seeing your shoes.
No.
They're not seeing your cool skirt. They're not seeing your interesting jeans. They're not seeing that. They're seeing really the type of fabric, the pattern, and what that does from your chest all the way to the top of your head, and that's what you're selling.
And one thing that you've already talked about, like what you did with your process is like put yourself on tape, guys.
Yes.
With your different clothes in your wardrobe, and just say, "Wow, what does this look like? Oh, this is making the camera go crazy. Let me throw over a cardigan. Let's break that up, or let's throw over a jacket." I love kind of coming to an audition with more clothes than you need.
Yes.
Like layer it up, and then you sit in the waiting room and go, you know what? I don't need this. Let me take it off.
But I do that all the time, you
and
guys.
men, I go throw in a tie in your bag, or like carry a bag, just so you have options.
Yeah, because all the time I'll show up to an audition and I'll think, all right, we're either going this direction or we're going this direction. I'll wear option A, but I'll bring option B.
Smart.
And I have often changed into option B, and I have booked from doing option B because I sort of like, I know they say they want this kind of girl, but I think it's more this kind of girl. And then I show up and see like, then you get more information, whatever it is. And then you can sort of make a more informed opinion and then wear the one that you feel like is most right for that audition.
I mean, if your goal is to be on the CW, like you love that kind of stuff, right? Then I say this to clients, start watching everything on the CW.
Yes.
Start writing down what you're seeing.
Yes.
You're going to see
what
trends.
What are the colors? What are the fabrics? What are the cuts?
You're going to see all that. So, and then if you want to be on Modern Family, that's your goal, then start watching exactly what that is. Because I hear that from clients too with different agents. Different agents want like, now, I want the hipster. I want this. I want, and they kind of give it a general thing.
Yes.
And what I have to do is go, okay, this is your hipster.
Right.
It's not this hipster.
Right.
But
are you lumberjack hipster or are you computer geek hipster? Right.
Yeah. There's different, different ones.
vibes.
And that's what you should start as actors just to start doing and make it like a game for you.
Yes.
But wait, Audrey, wait. I have to interrupt you.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you shit you didn't know about your union.
So one thing I think is really important is that everyone who is in SAG-AFTRA get the emails that SAG-AFTRA provides us. And it's about maybe one email a week. It's just like it told me on the 4th of July that, hey, the theatrical negotiations are aligned and we're happy and we're, amazing. Yes. But immediate, it's not like I'm finding out 2 days later, and it gives me the information. I can read it, and now I'm informed and I can share it with everybody.
You will have to read those emails, but I just tell people you don't have to read all of them. Just read some of them.
Yes, read the ones that inspire you, maybe.
If you are bored in audition and you get a SAG-AFTRA email, maybe read it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you're busy with your 3 kids and you get a SAG-AFTRA email, maybe don't read that one at that time. But just read some of them because they make them for us to know things. But there's so many programs for people out there.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about some of the programs and stuff
or
that
just
happen?
There's so many things that you could take advantage of. Look, as actors, we are, and I agree with you when you're talking about you have to invest in your career. You have to do X, Y, and Z. But this is our union, and now they're providing things for us for free.
And it's super easy to read on the app.
Oh, great.
The events.
I just downloaded the app.
When you go to the app, you can go to the events, and it has it like in order.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
You're like, I have this Wednesday night free. Maybe I'll see what's happening over at SAG because there's always something happening over at SAG, which is so great. I can't tell you the number of people that I have met just through getting involved more and more in SAG. And what's really great about that, you guys, is the people that I want to be friends with are the people who are involved with SAG because these are the people who are on top of their shit. And I want to hang out with more people on top of their shit. And there's that business saying of like, you are the people you surround yourself with. So if you are looking around and you're surrounded with a bunch of people who are broke AF and have had 3 auditions this year,
right,
then that you are the sum of your parts. But if you're hanging around with a bunch of people who are making 6 figures as actors, are involved in their union, want to protect their rights and know about all the rules, guess what? You do too, and that speaks about you as much as it does about them.
And that's what you've been saying so much in your podcast is like, you got to know the business. You got to be involved.
You got to be involved.
Because I can't bitch
Right.
about my union saying, oh, I didn't do that. Because you know what? You didn't show up.
You didn't show up. You've got to show up.
That's as simple as it gets. And get involved in this political climate. Everyone needs to have their vote heard and their voices heard.
Yeah, don't be all like up on the fucking politics board and then don't go to your union meeting. Because, think local, and your union meeting is like one of the best places to start fighting for what you need and for what are your rights.
And you're inspired by other actors
Yeah.
wanting to take care of each other.
Yeah.
And there's something about community on such a level like that, which is inspiring.
So true. I think that before I started going to meetings, truly I thought it was going to be like a group of grumpy, sad older actors is what I thought it was going to be. But no, everybody's fired the fuck up. It's like a full room. There's lots of people there, all ages, all types, and people are fired up, and it makes me excited when I leave. I bring other people with me, and they're always grumpy. They're like, bossy Audrey, like she has always forced me to go this shit. And then we leave together, they're always like, okay, I really loved it, and I'm so glad you made me come.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, get the SAG emails, just go online and register. And
the app sounds really great.
The app, I can't tell you. Like, I had no faith that SAG would ever make anything for the internet that was like good, but this is so great. I'm telling you, the app is so great. Just freaking track those residuals. Get that money.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
I want to talk about styling for auditions. Some people are bad at styling themselves. And what a stylist can come in and do for you is they can go in through your closet and they will pick out your audition looks. And then you don't have to think about it.
So I do a lot of different things, and it's different price points, especially. But like if I came, I have to your wardrobe, and even just putting things together, I'm really good at putting things together in your own closet that you would never have put together.
That is so true.
And I've had a client literally, and we took photos on her iPad, and she goes, Buckley, I have 40 different outfits now that I didn't know, and she has pictures of them, so she does not have to think anymore. She's like, oh, here's my office girl.
I just want you guys to know, like, I have booked several jobs. I'm very confident because I was wearing the right outfit.
I've booked jobs, and they literally say that's what you're wearing.
That's what has happened to me too.
And I think that is if you can do that,
then you got it right.
And this is another thing on that. When you book something, I don't care if it's theatrical, a film, a commercial.
Yes.
Whatever they put you in, I want you to ask the wardrobe stylist where they got it.
Yes. And
go buy it as soon as you can.
Or ask them if you can buy it from them.
Sometimes you're absolutely, and you'll get a little bit of a discount.
Yes.
But if not, even like the backup choices, just find out where the heck they're shopping for you, because that's going to inform your brand.
I can't tell you guys how important that is. And I'm so glad that you said that, because I started doing that the moment I started working, because I realized the colors that they started putting me in, the brands they started putting me in. And then what becomes really helpful is then when you book a job, and this helps you help them, help you look your best. They always say to me, do you know what brands? And I'm like, yes. Here are the 5 brands that I always look good in, based on my body type and based on the fit.
Right.
And going in and then having that, then your wardrobe goes smoother, and then you actually show up to set and you look right for the part.
Yes.
And they're not having to do a ton of guesswork. I also say that to you when you go to get your hair and makeup done. Take pictures of the tools that they use. Take pictures of all the makeup they put on you. Take pictures of the brushes they put on you. We're talking investment, you guys.
Yeah.
Serious investment.
And those are great people too.
Great people.
If you get their card and go, hey, when you're not working, maybe you can, that would be a teacher,
I actually definitely recommend that. If you see somebody who's like done your makeup well or any of that sort of stuff, done your hair really great, yes, get their card. Almost all of them do this.
Yes.
And then you just hire them for an afternoon, ask them how much it would be for them just to teach you how to do this kind of look, or say, I want 3 kind of looks. Can you help me learn how to do those? It's so valuable as far as an investment in your career is concerned. And I want you guys to start thinking long-term career.
Yes.
Long-term, not I'm going to be doing this for 2 years and then I'm going to be famous and then I won't have to worry about it because everybody else will do it for me for the rest of my life.
And also you're going to change,
That's so real, you guys.
You're not going to be, you'll be in your 20s and then you're in your 30s and then you're in your 40s and then 50s, 60s, and I've had an 87-year-old client, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I just had somebody do Jesse's mom's hair and makeup, and she was just completely amazed because it's just, we're so lucky that we are in places where we have professionals who can do that, who are the best at what they do.
Yes.
I want to talk about basics. How much do stylists generally cost? What does that include? And I want to make sure that it's clear for people. This usually does not include the actual clothes that then you go and buy.
Right. I tend to work with actors for audition clothes, headshots. I'm not the girl you come to for
the carpet,
the big red carpet.
Right, the TCAs, all those things.
No, I'm in the real working environment.
Which I want to say is part of what is great about you, and I think part of why you are so busy with that is because that's not a gap that is filled by many people. Most people are fashion people styling you for fabulousness.
Right, and that's what we're used to hearing stylists. We're hearing like, oh, she's wearing the Cartier blah blah and da 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 and wearing this dress and these shoes. And that's great, and I hope everyone gets to experience that as an actor.
Yes.
But that's not the day-to-day.
But let's talk about those people. How much do they cost usually?
Oh gosh. Oh, I mean,
a lot. I mean, I think they're anywhere from 3 to 10,000.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just for their expertise and their knowledge,
and that doesn't include the dress that they put on you.
No,
that's what you're paying for is relationships with designers usually.
Yep.
Also, a very real thing for men and women that they don't know is like their body shape.
Oh gosh.
And they are usually masters in body shape and how to maximize your body to look its best.
Absolutely.
With color and pattern and texture and cut. And that is really what you are hopefully paying for. They're on trend. They know it's on trend.
And, if you are like you have your first season regular and you're doing a red carpet like you're going to be doing. So that's going to be keeping close to that character a little bit.
I have a carpet coming up, you guys.
And it's pretty exciting. But yeah, I think when I'm talking about regular, it's just like, I think because clothing now has become so mass produced, there's just like
it's so fucking boring.
Yeah, it's
now.
really it's
so
bad.
sad.
However, if your budget says, oh, I can go to the stores. I don't have to say the stores.
Yeah.
And you're buying 3 t-shirts for $3, whatever. Yeah. When after 2 washes, when it looks bad, we need to get rid of it.
Yes.
That's why I'm a big proponent of like have audition attire.
Yes.
Do not touch that.
Yes.
And then you can have your own personal attire. And if you are, I had a client the other day where she just likes to wear black. She is very goth in her real life. She does not play that and whatever. So I said, you can wear as much black as you want in real life.
Let's have this section.
Yes. All the bright colors, the patterns, the polka dots, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I really recommend for women in particular having a separate either part of the closet or a wardrobe for those things.
Yes.
I do want to say also that was really good. That's been good for me. Is actually been going to clothing swaps in LA. They're big here.
I'm going to be one on Saturday. Yeah. I think that's great. Getting people of your look, your type, your brand.
Well, what I was going to say is the opposite because I'll be like with a group of girls I've never met before, but because they're more regular women, they have clothes of a more regular type.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You
because
see what I'm saying?
I've done clothing swaps with other actors. I haven't done it with just like.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, doing it with
that's a great idea. Just your friends outside the biz.
That's right. Great. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, all these shirts again. Because like I would never buy that shirt, me, Audrey, but me, Audrey, who plays mom. I really could use that shirt, or me, Audrey, who plays the mousy secretary. And it's great because they are like the mousy secretary in their real life. That's really interesting for me to see like, oh, that's an interesting little character.
That's great. What you said too is that I find that a lot of people, when I'm consulting, they go to the same shops all the time. So everything's from Express or whatever, right? That needs to be broken up too. You really need to like I have no problem if you want to go to a thrift store or a vintage store and grab a couple little pieces. Like you should have a diverse. But if you're only going to one store and that's like that's not good.
It's not good. No, I so want to cheerlead that where do your people shop?
Yeah.
And you have to shop, like I said, Coldwater Creek is where the moms shop. Also, moms love Chico's. If you're of a particular age, moms love Chico's. So if you want to look like that kind of mom,
Sears, great.
Sears.
Yeah,
when I go back home,
great.
listen. When I go back home, because the JCPenney's here is not like the JCPenney's in New Mexico.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, ooh, that shirt, and they're all like $15. They're always on sale. And then I, just like you said, I don't wear them very often. But when I have those auditions, I have the right ones.
Right.
And then I get called back and then I book for them. People, these bitches, you guys, I'll tell you what, they're fucking competitive. People hire stylists for their callbacks. If it's a really big role and they're trying to get a product right, and they book, and they'll hire a makeup person and a hair person and somebody to style them to look the way that they need to look for that part, so that they go in product ready.
Wow.
For a pilot that if they book and the series goes, they're going to be making $20,000 an episode. So that investment is worth it.
Right.
I also started doing hair and makeup styling for meetings. For those of you who are going to be doing agent meetings, or you're going into a new round of agent meetings, I really recommend getting a stylist for that. Having people
have your brand down.
Have your brand fucking down, you guys. So that way when you go in, they know that you are good. They want you to be good, but what they really want to know is, can they sell you?
Absolutely.
And if they can sell you is about what you know about what you can do with yourself.
Yeah.
And so you have to come in ready to show that.
Yeah. And even if you create your own breakdown, like,
I've done that before. That's so good. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah. I mean, I just think that, when you're thinking about what shows you want to target, create that, like a breakdown, say, I'm, the 20 to 22-year-old, soft-spoken, innocent woman. You can be creative with it. That just gives you kind of ammunition to then go, I need a photo that represents this.
Yes.
I think there is a bit of a back to that where, look, if you're brand new in the business, the concept of you getting a season regular job, blah, blah, I think that's a disservice to you. That's why I'm saying, let's pigeonhole you. You're going to get co-stars. But what kind of co-stars?
Right.
It is that.
Are you the drug addict girl? Like,
Yep.
I can't tell you the amount of friends I have who are like, I didn't know, but apparently I just always get cast as a drug addict. And I'm like, well, you weigh 8 pounds.
Yeah.
And like in real life, that's just like a thing. They just are like a skinny person, and then they just are a normal person. But on camera, they're so skinny just because that's their fucking
Body
genetics.
type, yeah.
And then they just like book drug addict, and nothing about them is drug addict. They've never tried drugs in their whole life, but
It's what we see.
It's what we
see.
See.
Like what
particularly
we're
on
looking
film,
at.
what we see on film. So
On
if you've
film.
come from theater, you're going to have a little bit of a learning curve to
Yes.
discover what that is for you on film.
I think the most on point would be commercial. You need to be theatrical, depending on what the
Your
type.
category is.
Yeah. You can be a little bit more subdued with it, I believe.
Well, I would say it depends on the size of the roles too, because co-stars are little mini commercials.
Absolutely.
It's a quick read, so you have to be able to read that type really fast, and that really is going to be about your look. When you're a guest star, when you're going for series regulars, that's still important as far as storytelling is concerned. You don't want to be against your type. You definitely want to lean into it, but you have a little bit more room because you have more dialogue to tell the story, that your look doesn't have to tell the story as fast.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, that totally makes sense in that world. You're smart.
Thanks, Buckley. You're so smart.
You're so smart.
You're so smart.
When people are starting out, or when they're 20 or when they're 30, we just have to kind of see where you are. And, I want you to get auditions.
That's
my
right.
goal is you're getting auditions. Then you be a good actor, or you do what that takes to get that job. But I want to get you in the door.
And my goal is I want you to get into the right doors. I don't want you just getting auditions. I want you getting the auditions that you can book over anyone else because it's the right part for you.
I love that. I'm gonna steal that.
Yes. And I want people to know you for that, so that they're bringing you in for it.
But wait, Audrey, wait. I have to interrupt you.
And now it's time for the new show rundown.
Today for the new show rundown, you guys, I'm so excited about this. It's time for Dynasty on the CW. It'll be pretty super fantastic. So Dynasty is just like the 80s version, except revamped for CW. There's a really fabulous trailer online. If you go to YouTube channel for CW, and you just can go on YouTube and do Dynasty first look trailer on the CW. It's super sexy. It's kind of like Revenge. For those of you who are Revenge fans, it looks kind of Revenge-like. I just loved Revenge. It shoots in Atlanta. So again, I'm sure that they're going to be looking for people in all markets. The casting director is Sandy Logan, who is a Los Angeles casting director, and the Atlanta casting director is Bajosonubi. Bajosonubi. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Who knows? But if you live in Atlanta, you probably know that person. So this is CW. It's beautiful people. The age ranges are varying, sort of like Revenge was, where you have like the younger part of the family and the older part of the family. The handsome Grant Show is in it. Everyone knows I adore Grant Show. And I think it's going to be fabulous. If your vibe is drama, go for it. So Sandy Logan has also cast Notorious. She used to cast Christella, which I believe is no longer on the air, but maybe it is. Who knows? Anyway, she's fantastic. And if you are on either of those shows and you have a good relationship with her, just give that little heads up. So good luck, you guys. I want you to book the out of those incredible CW hot dramas. Say hi to Nick Wexler for me. Okay, book it. Book that show. Book it.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
What is the best part about the business for you?
The night before of your next day, you never know what you're going to be doing.
Yes. What's the worst part about the business for you?
I think there is a control thing, you know. Why am I not getting out? Or, questioning control.
What can I be doing?
Yeah.
Why acting?
I was a dancer before I was an actor.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, I danced at the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater, and at 16 I was in the corps de ballet.
Cool.
And I remember loving dancing and expression without having to say anything. Like, you had to create a world and have the audience have a experience. And then when I said I want to be a real kid, or I was like, I want to go to college, and so I decided to go into, I think it did communications and theater, and then I ended up minoring in business because I thought I got to have some kind of something. And for me, it was always that, and I think I've heard this from people on your podcast, just creating like an experience that I got to let someone else have an experience that maybe they haven't allowed themselves or really embraced in their own lives, or in that fantasy land, like to play roles. But for me, it was always about, I wanted to evoke something over there.
What do you wish someone had told you or managed to get you to understand?
What you're doing, the business. I mean, I can't tell you, like, I did go the waiting tables route, but I did swingers back in the day, and I met so many people who are like me, writers. Now they're executive producers, they're all this. And there's part of me that's still like, how do I reach out to, like, remember me, and I've been doing this for 20, like, so the business, like, so I'm going to keep listening to your thing so I can get some more information.
Well, I'm here to push you.
Yeah.
Buckley knows I push her.
Yeah, I know
I
she
really
does.
do. I push her because I root for her.
Thank you.
Of course.
One thing that I've always done as an actor, because I've always thought, whatever concept, I'm like, there's abundance. There's always going to be abundance. I'm going to always work. Every time I walk into a room, I say it in my head before I go in there. I say, I'm the one.
Ah, that's so great.
Yeah.
I think that's so
I'm the
great.
one.
Oh, good.
And then that gives you permission to just be you, because you're the only person who can be you and in that role and bring yourself to it.
I love that.
So that's something I just wanted to give to the listeners.
That's so inspiring. I really love that. What's your biggest struggle right now, personally or professionally?
In the professional, being an actor, I'm older. I've been doing this a long time. I don't think I look my age. I definitely think I play younger.
You do.
And I think casting knows I've been doing this for how many years. And so I'm having the experience that I'm not getting into things where I think I should be, because they've known me for 20 years.
Do you have any questions for me?
I just am curious too, like with even this podcast, you are putting in so much time. And I know that you said recently that you're allowing yourself more fun. Where now do you feel is the balance? Because if that's,
Yes.
you understand that?
Yeah, where's the balance? God knows, Buckley, where is the balance? I think what I'm shifting in right now in my life is the way in which I work and what the motivation for that is. I think what I've been doing for so much of my life has really been trying to achieve, really to outrun certain things. You know, those of you who know me personally know my brother died almost 2 years ago. That was really traumatic. I have been, I would say, very disciplined, but it comes more out of fear of, I'd say in a subconscious way, really fear of dying, and also fear of being broke, and fear of being a failure, and fear of being trapped, or fear of any of that sort of stuff has been so much of my motivation. And where I've now am trying to turn my focus is into being more passion and inspiration focused.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Oh, thanks. I've always been a passionate and inspired person, but I would say what that was I would be passionate and inspired, but then it would be really pushed by this, I would say, very desperate sense, and I think that's like a overwhelming sense of like, oh, Audrey, I need you to calm it down, sort of sense of self. And now because I have grown up as well, sort of am looking and going like, oh, I'm here, I'm doing well, and I've created that for myself, and I can have confidence in who I am and what I can create, and so I don't have to outrun that anymore.
And I think that's great, because that's why you're booking. I think consider when you are full, when you don't come from a lack or a fear, when you walk into a room and you have that, like you're the one, or whatever you want to create for yourself,
yes,
they're going to see that. They can smell fear. They can smell all that. And if you are coming like, oh my God, I need this job, instead of making a fan with a casting director or whatever, right?
Yeah, the philosophy that I've been really enjoying has been this term called being the path of least resistance for other people. And I can see that in booking. It's like if you've got so much on it, then people can't receive you, but people want to work with the people that are inspiring to them. And so if you're coming from a dogmatic place, or I would say for me a controlling place, then that's all the room you're going to get out of that. And that will, if you're really disciplined like me, it'll take you far enough. But I'm looking for sort of the next expanded place, and that's a place that is what I already have in my work. Like in work, I understand flow, I understand passion, I understand inspiration, and I'm really think one of my strengths as an actress is impulses and receiving them and letting them go through me. And so bringing that more to my life as I do to my work, because it's actually what I love about the work. So bringing that same thing into my life. Social media plug. Do you want to tell them where to find you?
You can find imagebybuckley.com.
Great.
Image by Buckley on Instagram. Twitter at Buckley Sampson.
And do you want to tell them who your reps are, so that those looking for a fantastic, very versatile actress, I might say.
Oh, yes.
Where they can find you.
Well, then buckleysampson.com is my personal acting web page. And then I'm with Amsel Eisenstadt Fraser Hinojosa. It sounds like a law firm, and they represent me across the board.
Wonderful.
For 23 years.
That's so fantastic.
I know. Crazy.
I just want you to know, too, for Buckley's look, you're going to look at her looks. Buckley, I think, particularly knows so much about this because she has such a versatile look. You're one of those people that you really can play look-wise, such a broad spectrum. And so it's not surprising to me that you've had to learn how to be defined, because I can see that you were probably so broad at so many different points in your life that you've had to go, oh, let's put myself in this group and let's put myself, and really had to refine yourself in that. Mildly interesting.
If you've never been to the Nether Cutt Collection, have you heard of this?
I haven't heard of this.
This is brilliant.
I'm so excited.
It's in Simi Valley.
Yes.
And so the Nether Cutt family was, I think, part of the Makeup Max Factor. So it's a free museum. The Nether Cutt Collection is a 4-story building. First floor is cars. These people, like, he collected a million things, but he collected a lot of cars, a lot of, and it's like you're walking into the 30s. I mean, I can't even
love that.
describe it.
My mildly interesting is the business podcast with Kim Masters. This is a must, you guys. This is a must. Kim Masters is a veteran reporter with The Hollywood Reporter, and she does a weekly recap of all of the biggest news in the industry, and then she does like an industry interview. It's great. It's only about 30 minutes long, which is nice. The first section, which is the business part, is usually pretty short. It's like 5 to 7 minutes, and she just goes through, you know, who sold what company to who. Like last week she talked about Apple getting into the game and how they're doing it, which is huge news for us, you guys, because Apple can outspend everybody combined times 2. So that's such great news for us. We are all in this together. So I really recommend that. Well, thank you so much, Buckley. I'm so glad that you came over today.
Well, it was my pleasure.
I think that I think you're going to get a lot of calls, because I think people are like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because it's real, you guys. It's so real. And I just so appreciate your generosity to actors in this particular field.
I just want them to be empowered. I want them to be empowered.
You and me both, girl. I feel you on that. Next week on Audrey Helps Actors, we are going to talk SAG contract. So we are going to be voting on our very important 2017 TV theatrical contracts. So you just got in the mail, or you're about to get in the mail, a little postcard, and it has a PIN number on it. So you can vote online. You can also vote by ballot in person. All of your votes are due by 5 p.m. Pacific time on Monday, August 7th, 2017. Our podcast is going to go out the week before that so that you can make the most informed decision. So I am going to go through with somebody, a person yet to be determined, and we are going to talk about the bullet points of the SAG-AFTRA contract negotiations. It is really important that you be as informed as possible about what your contract is offering now. It's also pretty tumultuous right now, because just after we vote on this contract, we will then be voting for our board, for our representatives within the TV theatrical world. So a lot of people are using this contract negotiation to sort of make their points as far as their political stances within the union. That's why it's really so important that you get involved. I really want you to be able to know as much as possible in a way that is appetizing to you. I promise to get people in here, and we're going to give you like examples so that you know what's happening, let you understand what your rights are right now, what you would be voting for, what you would be voting against. Personally, I will be voting yes. I'm not going to try to sway you to vote yes. I'm just going to give you the information. That's probably not true. It's probably like, I'm probably going to try to get you to vote yes because I think we should vote yes. But I will give you information, and you can take with that whatever you like. And we're going to have a good time doing it, darn it. This is going to be entertaining. I also really wanted to impress upon you guys to follow me on Instagram, and not because I want hell of your followers, but because I am posting lots of information every day, not just stuff like, hey, this episode about this podcast is coming out, but sort of tidbits about our union, things about casting directors, auditions, stuff like that. I have been posting that regularly on Instagram. So when you're bored and you're on the toilet, just pop over to my page and see what you're missing. At Audrey Helps Actors on Instagram. At Audrey Helps Actors on Instagram. But remember, don't direct message me on there with your questions. You have to email me your questions to audreyhelpsactors@gmail.com. Instagram is for information that you see. Email is for information that you request. I love you guys. This show is produced and edited by Jesse Lumen. He is a writer, director, producer, and virtual reality genius and wizard. If you are creating a current virtual reality experience, please look him up and get in contact with him because he is on it. Special thanks today to Buckley Sampson for her really great insights and perspectives on styling and branding. I so recommend that if you haven't worked with somebody before to put your headshots together, it's so helpful. So many people get lucky, so many people don't, and they waste a lot of time. I super recommend investing. It always pays off. And for me, it's part of the fun part of the work. Also, special thanks to Thomas Snodgrass for the mic assistance and providing us with an extra mic here and there. And special thanks to Aalok Mehta for all of his help and work on the theme song. Music this week by Ari De Niro. All right, you guys, don't forget your towel.